Well, hello, everybody. We're back. Pink Lady Against Scammers. Welcome. And Yvette, my wonderful co-host, how you doing?
Oh, wonderful, 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 the wonderful, dealing with thing, but still spreading the awareness for everybody there has been one way or the other. Damn.
Yeah. I live in St. Louis. I'm sick of the hot weather. It's it's
So
awful here. The
here's
humidity,
what.
it's off. I hate it. I'm ready for fall.
Me too. Me too. I mean, you wake up here in San Diego and it's like, okay, 9th Street. I still miss 12 noon. It's like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
That's right. We just do it. We always do it. I'm excited about today's guest. I met this guest in 2023 when he was a guest on my podcast, and he told a really different online dating story experience that he had. But you got to go listen to it because we're not going to talk about it.
No, yeah, you got to go back and
It
listen
is
to it.
adult oriented, so if you don't want to hear some of the stuff, you can fast forward through it. But anyway, welcome back to my podcast, Anonymous Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Well, thank you, Patsy and Yvette. And this is my first time recording with Yvette, so I'm very excited. So, and thank you. It's an honor to be back, Patsy. Patsy, we connected a couple of years ago. You invited me on, then you came on mine, and I came back on your. We've been doing this back and forth, and I think you do great work. And what you're doing is so important in the scam baiting world or the romance world because people are still falling for these scams. And, I just sent you a couple of days ago an AARP podcast about a woman who fell for Cano Reeves. She ended up giving him over $200,000, this fake Cano Reeves, and it's still happening. Even though the public, me and social media and everybody's trying to get the word out to everybody. Don't do this. Don't. These are fake
Mhm.
people, and yet they're. I don't know. Maybe they're just lonely and they fall for it. But we have a lot of work to do to stop
Let me
this.
ask you a question,
Sure.
Andrew. That woman that was called for Keanu Reeves is the one that ends up living in the car because she gave all her saving and everything. Because there are many Keanu Reeves that fallen for him.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure there's probably 1,000, if not more, over the last
yeah.
couple of years because he's very easy because they got his voice and video and now AI. The story just came out last week on AARP's podcast called The Perfect Scam, and they highlighted her story. I think she did live in the car for a while, and then she ended up selling the car and moving in with her mom, and because she ended up selling her house. The
Mm-hmm.
Cano got her to sell, not the real one, the fake one, got her to sell her house and her car because he kept promising her we're going to live together in a mansion somewhere up in Buffalo, New York. It's the craziest stories that they tell.
Yep.
And I, I got to be careful how I do this because I've never been a victim of a scam and I don't know what it's like. But to these people that are getting scammed, it's real for them. And I know Patsy's favorite is Chris Evans, and I think I know
Uh-huh.
I think I kind of know the story how this whole podcast with Patsy got started was that somebody tried. I think it Chris Evans who tried to scam you, Patsy. This is
But
how it started.
many. It started in 2016, and I was just curious about online dating. And I went to Match.com, and that's where I met my first scammer. I never sent money. I just thought the conversations were weird.
Right.
All the love bombing, and I'm like, ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're doing great. When I say these people in Nigeria or wherever they're originating from, they're doing fantastic work. I'm not praising them. I'm going to be careful. I use my words in scamming people. And I can say elderly and social because I'm 65. The older folk into who are some of them, and I'm lonely. I'm single, and I'd love to have a girlfriend right now, and we'll get to that in a minute because I have a podcast about all that stuff. But I was just talking to Patsy off mic, and honestly, we were talking about if, let's say, somebody like Jennifer Aniston, who I particularly would love to hear from, if she ever wanted to reach out to me. But if she asked me for money, I'd have to I would have to double question and say, Jennifer, you
Exactly.
just the money from friends alone, you should be wealthy. And then the 50 movies you did since then, come on, so whatever what they're telling Cano Reeves victims, like I'm overseas and my assets are frozen. I just don't understand. I got to be careful because I'm not in their shoes and I don't
Well,
know. But
these people have the magic word
yeah,
to
they do.
involve the victim, and they pray for their tender heart, and they are like, we're gonna get together, but I just got here in Germany and we are filming, but my money got frozen because my bank don't believe it's me using the cards. Can you send me, wire me, or buy? Because this is the way that they do is like, can you buy me some Apple cards? So I
Right.
think, I mean, Apple Card is to buy stuff from the Apple Store. They are not going to get cash. Still, the people fall for that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's their lack of education or knowledge
Hmm.
in the tech world of how gift cards work. I get it, and I understand that not everybody can be educated, and I, it's tough. I'm now becoming so. I have three podcasts, and one of them is a dating podcast, which started, and as Patsy mentioned, it's a horrible story that started 2.5, 3 years ago, and the podcast has evolved beyond that story. So now it's really just a dating podcast because the dating that's going on today in the modern world is just crazy. So I'm doing a podcast about how crazy the dating scene is. Nothing to do with scams and all that. Then I started a second podcast that goes after cults, religious cults, online cults, TikTok cults, the Twin Flames Universe cult, which, by the way, just got raided by the DA of Michigan. And so that's doing very well. The cult podcast, I have a co-host, and we've surpassed, like, I think the 20,000 download mark. And we
Oh,
now, yeah, and now we have sponsors, and so that's doing great. And then like Patsy, you were talking about earlier that you have Clapper where you can come on and vent, and I like doing the same thing. There are weeks that I come home from work on a Friday, Saturday, and I'm fried and or frustrated from either traffic or something that happened that week or a bill I got in the mail that I've been trying to fight for 3 months. It's a place. So I call it the Weekend Rant, and it's a podcast where I come on sometimes 30 minutes, a little bit longer sometimes, where I just unload on. It could be a healthcare. Like I went off on Medicare a couple of weeks ago because now I'm on Medicare, but they can't get their shit together, and I don't know if it's uh, I almost said Obama. I don't know if it's Trump because he's cutting costs. I don't want to get into politics, but my issues that I go ranting on are current issues that affect all of us in one way or the other. And this week I'm doing a weekend rant on. I don't know if you realize it, but this week we lost three major celebrities. So
yes.
Malcolm Jamal
Yeah,
Warner.
oh,
We
I love
lost
that.
Ozzy
Oh,
Osbourne, and
I'll see.
and uh,
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Thank you. And they always seem to come in threes. I don't know if you noticed that, but
Yes.
yeah. So there's a new blog on my website and a new episode coming out tomorrow about this is what my weekend rants sometimes are about is like we look up to these celebrities and I call them the name of the blog is When the Giants Fall. And we look up to. We're growing up, and we watch like Malcolm Jamal. Well, we watched the Cosby Show. He was a little kid. Now
Yeah.
he was on The Resident. It was a great show. A
He
doctor.
was good on The Resident.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed his character on that show, and I'm gonna miss him. But it's interesting to watch these celebrities that are, in my mind, bigger than life, but we find out that they're human. He went out to go swimming in Costa Rica and never came back. He drowned, and
Mhm.
it's like he's gone now. And so celebrities are just human beings like ourselves. That's the bottom line. Is they don't have any special treatment in the world, in the universe, and the universe says it's time to come home. It's going to come take you. It doesn't matter who you are. And Hulk Hogan, Jamal, or and I don't have it in front of me, but it seems like every couple of weeks 3 or 4 people drop dead in the celebrity world. And if you think about it, us folks in getting older, we grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s where those people who partied very hard, they did a lot of drugs and alcohol. I'm an alcoholic in recovery, so I kind of can talk about that. They're like Ozzy Osbourne. I'm surprised he lasted this long.
Mhm.
And I was a big fan of Ozzy. I was a big Black Sabbath fan back in the day. But it's sad because he actually made a comeback. Him and his wife. What's his wife's name?
Sharon.
Sharon. Right.
Sharon.
They did that great reality show. I didn't really watch it that much,
I
but
watched it.
what a great comeback they did. Right. That was one of the first major reality shows after Survivor. I think the Osbournes was called, and
Yep.
just to see how the Prince of Darkness was living with his wife and his kids, it's just fascinating. But he's gone now, and so anyway, life is short.
Yeah. But you know who's going to live forever? Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Somehow he just does. He will not. And God
He's
bless
still
him.
there.
God
Yep.
bless him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about actors, musicians, celebrity. Okay. People don't realize that they are human, that they have their own life, they are married, they have kids, they have whatever life they are doing. And this scammer take the identity from these people and it start trying to get these women and men because they don't discriminate, okay? And they start like, oh well, you're my big fan. I want to sell you the VIP card so you
Mm.
can go get my personal email, a phone call, this and that. People fall for that.
Yep.
Every single thing.
My favorite is the Prince of Dubai, the Royal Membership Card.
Oh, Prince of Dubai, you need to buy my VIP Royal member card, be able to come to Dubai and visit the family. Well, first of all, the royalty of Dubai don't interact with people from other countries or regular people. That is reality, and people still falling for that. I have victims that constantly like, do you think that this is a real person? Oh, Johnny Depp. Okay, are you kidding me, right?
Mm-mm.
Johnny Depp, he is involved in his music, actor, movies. He have a new girlfriend. No, he broke with her. I said, okay, let me tell you. And I'm trying to be nice and sweet because I get, Patsy and I get constantly every single day around 10, 20, 30 people requesting if these people are the real person. Okay. And we like it, first of all, why he wants to talk to you privately. They can talk to you, invite you in the live if they do a live. on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and they can talk to you there. Oh, but they don't want to, it's a lot of people that fall in love with him and he don't want to choose one or whatever. But he said that I'm the love of his life, and I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, and I'm married with Jason Momoa. You know what I mean?
Well, the
Uh,
latest Chris Evans that I have, fake Chris Evans, oh, I should have never married my wife. I should have been with you. No, they laugh. I laugh, I play along, and then we do the little take that. The newest thing I use, which I knew about it, but I never really used it, is the Grabify link. So like when I'm talking to a scammer, we're just so in love. I have a link from YouTube, which is the thing from the movie Love Story from the 70s. And you can go into Grabify. And I have a video on my blog.
I'm familiar with Grabify.
Yeah, from Coastal Cowboy. I took his video. I borrowed it. And so I have that link, and then I'll send that. And then like this morning, somebody was clicking on it at 4 a.m. And it'll tell me their location, their IP address,
Yep.
all kinds of stuff. So like I'll finally say, oh, so you clicked on that link. Don't you know never click on links from someone you don't know? Because now I know that you're from here and this is your IP address. This one guy's like, the other guy the other night, how did you know that? I go, I'm psychic. Psychotic, maybe more, but
And so I do a lot of so you do the romance scam world, and I've been getting into watching a lot of the YouTube guys. So I don't know if you're familiar with these names. I'm going to run off a couple names. So Kit Boga, Scam Revolts.
mhm.
There's a guy named Pleasant Green. There's about a dozen guys, Jim Browning, that are on YouTube that are scam baiters. And what they do is they are hackers, they're ethical hackers,
Yeah.
and they hack. So they go after the guys that do the PayPal scams, the Microsoft scams, the fake. You get that email saying that your Amazon account was overcharged, so they want you to call the 800 number, and they tell you
Mhm.
to get your money back, and then they send you too much money, and it becomes this whole convoluted thing where, anyway, that's where the scams start. And what
That's
can
money laundering. That's
right.
money laundering because they send you a big amount, so you have to
You
return
have to
something.
return the money, but then they
Yeah.
have a money mule because they're overseas. They're in
Mhm.
Pakistan or
Mhm.
somewhere over there, and they need somebody in the United States. Anyway, I've been following these guys, and now what I've been doing. So one of the things that I've learned, and Patsy's gotten good at this, is the best way to fight a scammer, whether it's romance or whether it's the financial scammer, like trying to go after your pay, like your money, like your
Crypto,
is to
crypto, and all
waste
that.
their time.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, keep them busy thinking that they're going to get money from you, because that's less time that they're working on a real victim. And
Mhm.
so I've actually gotten involved with that. Now, what these guys do on YouTube are professionals, and they have virtual machines set up and fake and alternate phone numbers. And like what Patsy said, Grabify, they're using professional tools to do this. So, because you got to
Mhm.
protect your own identity. If you're a
Right.
scam baiter and you don't protect yourself. So I'm not going to say what I have, but I've invested in a couple things, and I will. So if I get these text messages and that say, "Hey, I have a job offer for you," and they do the same thing, so they want to send you a $5,000 check to start. They tell you to buy a computer because we have a job for you. I get them all the week. So what I do is I will engage with them just to keep them busy and have them running in circles. And I don't give them any money, but I waste their time. That's the idea,
Yeah.
is so one less person could, if they scam 10 people a day and I took 2 hours of their day out, maybe I helped one person. I don't know. It's just what I've been trying to get into. And but Patsy and I were talking about this at the beginning. There's only so many hours in a day. So running 3 podcasts and starting a fourth thing called on scam baiting is very difficult for me to do. But
Mhm.
I think what you and I bet and Patsy are doing is so important. The work you're doing, the word that you're getting out, Pat, were you finally, I think there was you were awarded a podcast award recently.
That was 2 years ago, the one like newspaper magazine that was in St. Louis. They
Okay.
had where you could, I submitted my podcast and then people would vote on it. And I won as
You won.
best
So
favorite podcast in St. Louis. And it was so funny because I was in the office and you were supposed to get the results like at noon that day because the paper, and then I'm trying to run around and find the darn paper. And it was there and I saw it there. I'm like, oh my God, it's in my queue. And I'm trying not to be loud. And I was just like, oh my God, so I'm like, tell me, I'm like texting everybody, and I was worthless the rest of the day. I think I had to take
but that must have given you some PR, like public relations,
Yeah.
so you got more recognition for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the only way
But
we're
she
going to
was
fight.
interviewed. She was interviewed in the
There you
local
go.
news also before the woman survivor, and she was in the news. And everybody, when I went to the woman survivors convention, everybody, oh, you was the lady that was the interview and this and that. So she's getting a lot of recognition.
It
Plus
was
the book.
so funny because they interviewed me like that Tuesday before Valentine's weekend. And then it was going to air Thursday night at 10 o'clock. So, I watched it, also recorded it. And then the first day of the Working Woman Survival Show started Friday. And we had a great spot. We had the smallest booth, which was a table and a backdrop, which was perfect. But we're right by the front door. So as soon as they turn the corner, we're right there. And I got my banner up. And people were like, I saw your means listen. Like, yeah, and then they showed it again Friday night at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news. So on Saturday, people would come in. I saw you in last night, that was really a fabulous. We talked about that on our first episode.
And that's the best you can do is get that word out there
Yeah.
that this is the cause that you're fighting. And because the only way we're going to stop these people are two ways: is people like you and me and Scam and Kit Boga and all those who are fighting the fight in the front lines, but also the education of the public. And
Right.
when I understand what's going to, and you probably have heard this, the new technology with the AI now. So what they're going to start doing is calling. So I was just with somebody that is a grandmother. She's in her 60s. I just played pickleball with somebody, and she's got a son who's 27. And let's say they call her son like a scammer, and they can record his voice, and then they can duplicate that voice with AI, and then they'll use that voice to call his mom one day and say, hey, Mom, I'm in a car accident and I need $5,000 to get out of jail. And they've been doing this trick for years, but now they have the technology to duplicate his voice exactly. So his mother couldn't tell the difference. And we have to educate these potential victims like grandmas, moms, and even the reverse. They're going to go after the young crowd because some of these young people may not. So they might record. I have 3 boys. If somebody calls me and records my voice or gets it off my podcast, they can turn my voice into an AI generated voice, call any number of my sons or anybody in my family and say, hey, Andrew has been in a car crash and he's, he needs $10,000.
That's been happening.
Exactly.
That's been happening.
It's happening. And the only way to stop this is to educate the people to hang up the phone and call that person. So call me and say, hey, Dad, are you okay? Or grandma should call her son and say, hey, or call the mother or father and say, is your son in college and is he okay? Verify before you send any money. And people these scammers seem to have the sense of urgency. So if you don't do it now and don't tell anybody, this is what they do. They make it sound like it's an urgent thing and don't talk to anybody and don't tell anybody else and blah, 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 blah. And they get them to do this. So I don't know what the answer is other than just continue to fight the fight that we're doing right now is
Absolutely.
on the front lines.
Heard from
But
somebody
they
else.
can have like
Have your kids have a code word. So like if you
yes,
were to get one of those fake phone calls and you could say, oh, okay, what's our code word?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
yes, yes.
But see,
Well,
but
actually, I'm sorry, Andrew. Actually, I was talking with my brother and my father in Puerto Rico, and my father got a call. Your name is so and so. Yeah. Well, we have two daughters that live in California, and you need to pay us $500 right now. And my father is looking at me on the video chat, right? And we was like, what? And he said, oh, so you want me to pay you $500 for my daughter that is in California? Yes, or otherwise we're going to unalive her. My father is laughing. I said, okay. Well, she never called me. You can kill her. That's fine. And the person in the phone was like, what? Oh yeah, she don't call me. She's the black sheep in the family. Just one less that I have to leave money for her or whatever. The person was totally mad that my father don't continue. Oh yeah, let me give you the $500 or whatever. Because my father is was talking with me on a videos, you know. So most people don't have that opportunity or happen to this. The recording, like you say, Andrew and Patsy, is a lot, you know. And they say, oh, your son is in a hospital, he got in an accident, you need to send money or whatever. And people they get in that panic mode. They don't call to verify if the
right.
person is alive or well, you know, no accident or nothing like that. And I'm trying to get back to a lot of my followers saying, "Look, listen, don't do anything impulsive, you know, just think twice, hang up, call the person. Same with the banks that say that you owe money to them. Hang up and call your friends. You know, that's the only way to yeah.
And it's getting the family to do that code word. And I'm guilty
Yeah.
because I am one, I'm a follower of Patsy and you guys and your podcast and your cause. And I'm getting into it myself, but I have yet to sit down with my three adult boys and said to these guys, my sons, hey guys, here's the code word in case you, because it just doesn't
Mhm.
cross my mind. And it's going to happen. It's going to,
Yeah.
I'm a public figure. I'm a like you, Patsy. We're content creators. They could come right, especially come after you and I, because these scammers are probably angry at you and I because we're calling them out. So who better to come after than you and I? And I don't have anything put in place with my kids right now. And by the way, I have two grandkids, and they could use them as leverage. Um,
Yeah.
so
Patsy, you have to send Andrew the video of you, me, Chad, and Jersey Joe, John. That this is gonna create a video of us that we are the bad person that Patsy is something some kind
I'm
of
the producer.
black widow, something like that. I mean, they make us look bad in that
yep.
video if we
Mm-hmm.
record it, you know. But there
Well,
are a lot of people
There
that are
were a
mad.
couple of them. There were a
Yeah.
couple of them, because I remember I was on a Saturday and I was at church. It was before church started, and I'm looking on my TikTok, and I see this stuff, which I don't know how long ago I got tagged on this video, and I was like, oh my God. So then I'm like texting you and I'm in church and just supposed to be praying. It probably was in a way. But then when I got home, and then of course I have to make videos about it because it's, but I have a real interesting one, and the video is out on TikTok. So I'm on Clapper now doing lives, and the reason is TikTok's glitching and strict rules and all kinds of technical stuff was getting on our nerves. So we moved and made a Clapper, which is nice because you can say anything and do. I do not talk like a sailor like I do on Clapper, but in real life, But uh, so there was this one guy came on. We suspected it's the guy that used to follow us, and he turned out to be creepy or whatever. So anyway, this one night, there's a guy in my chat, and he's using my picture, took my snapshot of me on my live, using it as a profile picture. And I'm like, what the hell? So I brought him in and I'm like, oh, defend yourself. So he came in the box and the first thing he said was, hey, fatty. And I'm like, I don't get offended by that. I really don't. I'm just like, look, this is it. And of course, my response always is, I'm not fan of the voluptuous. Well, then he goes, and you cost enough scammers a little money, and I'm like, good. But then everybody in the boxes just started attacking him. And I don't remember everything. I just kind of sat there and at one point I said, hey, whenever you want me to block him, just let me know, and we ended up blocking him, but the audio and video is out on YouTube. This is a scammer, I don't know. But we all have different ideas of who it might have been. This one guy, by Elvis. And we thought he was a nice guy.
Patsy, are you aware? Because I'm trying to stay tuned to the political news, but trying to stay tuned to political news is hard these days because of what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there any legislation going through any of the houses where we can help? So like these people who are 70, 75, who lose their life savings to these scams, is there anything going through the House of Representatives or speakers or Congress where there's some sort of help to get, because we're never going to get that money back. It's going to Nigeria, it's going through cryptocurrency, and it's never going to be seen again. And Congress, I think our government needs to protect us.
Yeah. Now there is one thing, and I found this out from Beth, who was on our podcast last. There's Senate Bill 841, and it's to go after online dating, making it safer.
Good.
I guess, and like I said, I'll have to check the status of it, but I think it made it through committee, but I don't think it's gone for a vote yet. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn was a sponsor of it. Now that's the only thing I know of right now. Kathy from Advocate View.
It's not passed yet. They're working on it. They went like 4 or 5 people to advocating for you. Beth and other people went to advocate in regard to romantic scam and what they can do, the government. And it's still in legislation, but it's not passed. So most of the time, what I do is I tell them they go to fcc.gov, ic3.gov.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 agents. They do not going to recover your money, but they tell you exactly what you need to do and help you in the matter of go to the bank or do this and that or change your bank information. They give a lot of information, but unfortunately, we don't have a law yet to catch this son of a bitch.
I just don't know why. And this is something that's important,
Well, I've listened to some of the Perfect Scam podcast, and they bring law enforcement on, and when the money leaves the country in crypto or other ways, so they have money mules here. So sometimes they'll ask them to send the money to somebody in pick any state, Kentucky, and they tell this person that they have a job and their job is to cash checks and then blah. So in other words, no bank is going to wire money to Nigeria. They know it's a scam.
No.
So they set up some sort of a system here in the States where they have a money mule. What Congress needs to do, and the banks and somebody with authorities got to sit down and say, we need more of the banks to flag what's going on. Look at the accounts and see what kind of money is leaving the country in what kind of sums. $5,000. Is it being turned into crypto? Is it Bitcoin? And look at get search warrants and look at some of these bank accounts that are being set up here in America that because they can't get the money outside. So the guy that's scamming me I can't send him $200,000 in cryptocurrency to Pakistan because apparently that safety has been put in place, but they have a
Mhm.
money mule, and then the money mule somehow gets it. I don't. That's the part that it's very tricky, but they need to do something because there are good people losing their entire. Can you imagine working 40, 50 years of your life and you have, I don't know, $350,000 to retire on? You got 5, 10 years of good life left and your money is gone.
Right.
But this is what the banks, at least here in California, the banks are with. When somebody go and remove a big amount of money, 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever, they're asking, oh, what you take in that amount? Because it's suspicious take a big amount in one lump sum. And they're like, oh no, I'm gonna send it to somebody. Uh they're in an oil rig and they sit them down and they say, listen, that you meet the person. They trying to convince them. A scam. Don't send no money. Oh well, I can open an account and give him my information so he can remove. No, that's a scam. You know, a lot of people, a lot of banks here, they trying to be religion,
Right.
watching these people when they move big amount of money.
There have been some good stories that I've heard that banks have stopped these transactions because they knew they were fraud. But
Yeah.
there are so many banks out there. So we're not talking about some of the bigger banks like Citi and Bank of America. We're talking about some of the smaller banks in the Midwest
Mhm.
or down south that maybe haven't been educated. So there has to be, I think that's what I'm getting at before about Congress. Congress needs to put something in place where something has to change. Years and years and years ago, when the cartel or the drug industry would put the money that they were making into the bank, they made it where that if you deposited more than $10,000, you had to report that. You had to fill out paperwork, and that was because the cartel was putting their hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. Now they can't do that anymore. So they got
Mhm.
smart, but we need to do something similar. So if an old lady, and I use that term endearly, an old lady walks in and wants to withdraw $100,000 from her 401k or her IRA, that's a flag. And the teller should be educated to say, why are you withdrawing all of a sudden? It's just unusual for an 82-year-old lady. Let's go down even younger, like somebody my age, 65. Withdrawing that much money for cash, and they need to be educated, and they should not allow that money to be given to the person until somebody like a bank manager comes over and looks at the actual information. And a lot of times these scammers will tell them, they'll stay on the phone with them. You got to
Yep.
drive to the bank. Don't tell them what you're really taking the money out for. And they do this. I was married to somebody who, my youngest son, and we're no longer married, but we're still cordial. And she got scammed out of $65,000 about a year and a half ago. And she
Mhm.
got one of those Windows pop-ups where she Googled something and she got a Windows thing that said, with Microsoft, you have a virus. And she called the 800 number. Of course, it was fake. And she got somebody in India that told her that there's a virus and we have to get the money off your computer. And she voluntarily sent the money to China to blah, blah, blah. And when she went to the police, they said, hey, nothing we could do because you voluntarily sent the money to China.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that has to be fixed. She was what's the word? She was manipulated. She was
Gullible.
yeah, into doing that. And because she thought that her computer and her money was there, whatever. These are the loopholes that the criminals are getting through, that are jumping through and getting away with this stuff. And I think Congress has got to stop. We got to stop fighting the left against the right with what the liberals and the Democrats. The guy that's in the again, I don't want to get political, but we put somebody in the White House, the abortions and the immigration stuff is real, but we have been fighting
Mhm.
this fight for 30 years and it's not going to get solved. But let's solve the stuff that can get solved. Is innocent people who are losing all of their life savings, wake up at 72 years old and you're imagine if you busted your back working on I don't know, you're a skyscraper iron worker and all of a sudden your wife but the money's gone overnight because she sent it to somebody because she got scammed.
Mhm.
We need to put something in place, some safeguards in place, and Congress needs to get involved with this. And I just don't know why we're worried about things that the abortion thing, whether you're on the left or right or choice or pro-choice, it's never going to get solved. It's
Well,
this
it's no longer right versus left. It's
correct.
right versus wrong, and people don't want to realize that anymore. And yes, I agree with you. We need to have something that we can go to the Congress and say, listen, it's a lot of people of they start the senior 53 and above 55, 50. They are losing their savings. They are losing everything because these people are allowed to be in any social media platform that connect the Americans, or anywhere in the world. And people don't realize that people don't grow up like us that was in the technology or computers and things like that. These people that are victims are 75, 80, older, and because somebody say, hey, beautiful age is just a number, these lonely people fall for it.
Let me tell you a quick story, very quick. So I've been after the Twin Flames Universe cult for 2 years. This is an online cult that preys upon teenagers who are lonely and vulnerable and are struggling with their sexuality. So they created a website and they say, come give us this money and we'll find you your soulmate. We don't care if you're gay, lesbian, bi, whatever, transgender, but they don't care. And they're lonely. And it's a scam. So Jeff and Shalia, who own this cult, and it's based in Michigan, it's a scam. And they were on Netflix and they were on Amazon documentaries. And I run the Cold podcast, and we have been outing them and calling them out, and nobody seems to have want to do anything. Well, last month they finally raided the compound with a court order to seize all of the account records. So the point I'm getting at is it took years, but it finally got done, and it looks like the Twin Flames are going to be brought down. This cult, but it took a lot of people like us to write letters and to write petitions and to scream and make it. You know the old expression, the squeaky wheel gets the oil? That
Yep.
yeah, that's what happens. So for us to get these scam laws to be put into place or to protect the innocent, we need to make more noise. That we need
Yep.
to squeak. We need to squeak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big battle that we all facing right now, and those that are one step ahead of the game, and we're never gonna catch to them because when
No.
we found that this is a scam, they already are two steps ahead of us.
Yep.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and what we need to continue is bring the awareness, telling the people. Show. I'm very big on showing videos, what happened, things from FTC. This is the new scam. Be aware. Uh, AI is the new trick for everybody. Oh, but he sent me a video. He talked to me, and
Yeah.
that was him.
Mm-hmm.
No, that one was him. Okay, that was AI. What is AI? Okay, if you're in the computer, and this is what I tell a lot of my followers, if you're in the computer on TikTok social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you are right now, dating site, before you put your profile, make sure that you don't put personal information that
Right.
you are tagged. That's number one. Number two, go to Google. Google is for free. Do AI. What is AI? How people do AI videos, AI calls, that kind of thing. Be prepared, be aware. It's a new stuff every day, so
You
they can take your money away from you.
you can go to Google Gemini now. So when you land on
Yeah,
Google's page, it'll say AI mode and right to the right, and you click on that and you get Gemini, and it's
yeah.
free. And you can log in with your Gmail account if you have one, but it's basically free. I have the Chat GBT. It's amazing what they're doing with the AI if it's used correctly. So put your
Mm-hmm.
name in there and ask the AI to find out what of your information is out there. And
Yes.
you can scrape, they call it scrape it. You might have to hire a company to do it, but you could scrape your information off the internet. It might cost you, I don't know. I have no idea what it costs these days, but it could be 50 bucks
No,
or
it's an application. They with this company it's legit because before I did it, I checked everything. I went to best but the PPP and I check everything because I have a bad habit to check everything before I sign
right.
it. And I checked this application, but then it was like you have to pay annually like 100 and something. That no, I'm not. So I started searching, and it's an organization. I think this will be later on. Patsy, this organization that wipes anything that you have out there that compromise. It's like it wipes you out of the internet, all the name, address, cell phone, uh, where you live, everything. They wipe everything. And probably it's $75 that you have to pay for it. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it's around the 70 money. So you can pay and they clean your history. And don't continue using the same password for everything, people. That's one thing. Change the password every 6 months. I mean, if you have to wipe out all your Gmail and create a new one, go for do it because you nothing but you stay in 2 months. Now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't change the password, you're gonna be fine.
And I tell this to there's on my dating platform, on my dating podcast, when I meet somebody and we go on a couple dates and we exchange phone numbers, I Google her number just to make sure she's not a scam, that she's not some
Yeah.
fake. So, and I find out so much information about. So what I'm just going to share a little tidbit to your audience that if you're single and you're on a dating app, whether it's Hinge, Bumble, Facebook dating, whatever, and you meet somebody and you share your number with them, if they get you to get off the app and text, be careful. Get yourself a second phone number. Get yourself a Google number or buy a
Yep,
second phone number
yep,
because the
yep.
information that I can find out about you on your primary cell phone number is scary. I have found
Scary.
potential women that I went dating, I found how much they owed on their mortgage, where they live, where their husband lives. It's if you have a cell phone number that you've had for 10 years and you've used it to buy houses and buy or taken out loans and buy real estate, whatever, you'd be surprised the information that's attached to your cell phone number. So Google
Mm-hmm.
your own cell phone number and you'll be surprised to see what comes up. And maybe start attaching that number or get a second number because these scammers are going to use that against you eventually.
I
I,
have
I,
two
I
app
have a
numbers.
I have a burning number. That phone is a
Good.
flip
Me too.
phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a flip phone. And when people say, and what is your phone number? This one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't give them the second number. And
Yep.
you should have three. I have three. So not It's not expensive. People thinking, oh, I don't have that kind of money, and you don't need three phones. It's all three numbers are on the same phone. So it's just an app you download. They give you a free number. Some of them change numbers like within like if you want a different number, they'll give you a different number. You might pay 60
Uh-huh.
bucks a year or something, but it's worth it to have
Uh-huh.
a number that you can use if you need to fill out a form someplace that you don't want to give them your real number, because I don't know how many like if you're filling out an application online, like you want to get a Target credit card, you might need to give them your real phone number. But that's how they're going to uh, follow you across. You know when you download an app and it says allow this app to follow you across apps, track you along. That's how they do it with your phone number. And so you have to say no to that. First of all, don't let the apps track you across if you want your
Right.
privacy. But the second thing is to get a second phone number and use that. Don't only use your primary number for your immediate family, maybe
Yep.
your kid's school or something. But to give your
Work.
main phone number out to like big corporations, these people look at all the major corporations that are getting hacked lately and all the millions and millions of data that's being stolen and being sold on the dark web. It's all
Mm-hmm.
out there. And we're all at jeopardy. We're all at risk.
I wanted to tell you guys, I'm on the mailing list, email mailing list for the FBI and the FTC. I got a really good email this week. It's it's a roundtable, and it's an FTC roundtable discussion about scam phones impacting older adults and the rest of the things. But anyway, it's July 31st at 1 p.m. Eastern. I have this information on my website, or I can forward anybody the email. But it gives you a Zoom link, and I'm assuming it's an hour. I'm taking vacation so that I can come home and watch it and then go back to work, because I think anything more that I can learn, I want to. It's the latest imposter scam trends, free tools to help protect consumers, and resources to combat against scams. So they have like 4 panelists and a moderator. And again, it's on my website, or if you guys want me to forward it to you on email, I can. But it's free, and anytime I can go and learn more, and it's free. I went
Yeah.
to the library one, was it last year? Or earlier this year, and I knew most of the stuff, but I did pick up 1 or 2 tips.
Everything we can do to educate ourselves and learn more is one more tool in our toolbox to go after these scammers and educate ourselves and help the audience. You have an audience and I have an audience that we are trying to help learn. Like I tell my people, don't give out your cell phone number to strange men on the internet. And they do it to me. I'm dating, and woman gives me her cell phone number. I Google it, and then on the second date, I say, "Hey Jane, by the way, when I Googled your number, everything about you came up, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm not a creep, but the next guy might be. So don't give out your phone number so quickly. Get a second phone number." And I do that as a public, what do you call that? Public service? I don't know, but
Public service announcement.
but some of these women think I'm a creep because I Googled their phone number. I said to them, I do it just to make sure that you're a real person. But two,
Actually, you're doing it because you're trying to save your tail. You know what I mean? So you
myself,
don't want to get a scam.
exactly. But I also want to show them that they're vulnerable themselves, like all their information, everything. I could scam these people because I know everything about them. Of course, would never do that. But
Yeah.
this is why I'm telling them on the second or third date, if we ever get that far. By the way, your phone number is very vulnerable. So don't give it out to strange men. Please don't, because
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Andrew, give us the name of all the podcasts.
So let's start with this. The anonymous Andrew podcast.com website has been renovated. All right. It was out many years ago. And so when I started, it was Anonymous Andrew Podcast. It is no longer that. It's now Digital Dating Podcast, Cultimatum Podcast, Cult spelled Cultimatum, cult like in cultimatum, like cult ultimatum. You put the words together. And the third podcast is the Weekend Rant, but they're all under the umbrella of the Anonymous Andrew Podcast Studios. So go to anonymousandrewpodcast.com and you will see everything there, the blogs, the podcast. And you can listen to the episodes right there. There's a lot more coming. There's going to be behind the scenes content. There's going to be giveaways and all sorts of stuff. We're finally building the brand up again. And because I changed the name a couple times, and apparently when you change the name of a company, it can, you lose your audience sometimes. So anyway, just send them to the anonymousandrewpodcast.com, and from there and I have a link tree, and I'm on all social media, everything from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everything is Anonymous Andrew Podcast. You'll find me on all the platforms there.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Thank you so much. This has just been awesome talking to you. As always, it's nice to get together with you and chat about scamming.
Yeah, likewise.
and other stuff.
Thank you,
So-
Patsy. Anytime. Listen, I think once or twice a year we should get together and
should.
let's keep each other updated about what you're working on and what I'm working on, and
Yeah.
together we'll maybe help somebody. If we help one person not lose their life savings, it would be we did our job. You know.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm happy that you're on the team now, and thank you for helping Patsy. And
We're
I
so
think
in sync.
Yeah.
Anytime.
great.
So before we go, I want to remind you, 3 more fake Pink Lady profiles has appeared on TikTok. So be careful. And unfortunately, one of them has 28,000 followers like me, but it's not me. So I'm working on getting those taken down, if that also helps.
We're working on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
And of course, the question is about, let me ask you this, because I was on Jersey John's live before here. And he's like, how do these guys get 28,000 followers? They duplicate my account, they use my videos, but the ones got like 28,000 followers. How do they do that? Do you have any idea?
Are you asking me?
Oh, Yvette.
Oh,
Okay, so what they doing is when you see these are accounts that are sold by the dark side. We call it the dark side of TikTok. Those accounts, they already have 10,000 people, scammers, bots, and things like that. So what they do is say, I'm gonna open this, and they have people, all the scammers, view those videos. And that's why those videos have like 10,000 views and things like that. Okay. So they can look legit. Okay. So this is what I'm working right now with my other group that we bring fake accounts down from TikTok is reporting massive and send the information, go to TikTok customer service and send it this account. This the name of the account. It's a fake one. This is not the person. This is the real person. I know for a fact because we are friends or things like that. So few of the chat in Jersey Jones that they got fake account with humongous numbers of view in each video. We send copy and we get it done like probably in 3 weeks until we and continue reporting because unfortunately TikTok is don't give it too flying fast, but we're trying to help the people and especially those creators that have a big followers, they are damaging their reputation because when they go to, oh, she created a second account, so let me follow her. And then, oh, thank you for follow me. You've been a victim. And they start like totally trying to get them to send them money and stuff like that. And it's awful. And I feel sorry for a lot of creators that get fake accounts made with their information, and unfortunately, TikTok is I'm stuck like one way or the other that it's gonna go away. You know,
I agree.
but
Yeah.
there are other platforms. They are more open mind, and they are not like TikTok that they don't care about the people. They are faithfully there for a long time. But that's the way that you see that account, especially the one that have the same amount of uh followers. Also, view in each video is because they get these people to watch the video and continue watching. And it's not only one or two people, it's a lot of people on the scam uh dark side that they are doing this. And they sell those profiles for big money. I'm working on that to create a video of how they do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
before TikTok go away. I really don't gonna miss as much that I met a lot of good people there in TikTok,
Yeah.
but you know what? It's time to move on. MySpace went out. Uh, Target was another social media that a lot of people got involved. MySpace, Target, and now TikTok. Well, TikTok can go away. I don't want to miss it. Other applications, they're working fine and better now. So just to have faith that people they have common sense now that you are the real one, no more fake, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you, Yvette. So everybody, that's all that we've got going today. But reminder, there's 3 fake pink ladies on there. And there was only one, and that is me. If we were ever concerned, you can always email
Yeah.
Sandy, Yvette, or any of the Google girls, most of them. Um, don't forget, I do nightly lives on Clapper. Download it. It's free. My name over there is Pink Lady Against Scams because they limit you on the letters. I'm starting a live in about a half hour. We're there every night. Tonight we're celebrating Christmas in July. I have lights up behind me that I don't have on right now. I've got my Christmas hat put aside. I had to dig this out of the garage earlier. So this will be our Christmas in July event. It's the same thing we're doing. We're just gonna jazz it up a little bit. Don't forget, they don't love you, they love your money, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you,
And a
Patsy.
pleasure. Have a
Thank you,
good night,
Yvette.
everybody.
Yes.
Oh, you're very welcome, Andrew. Take care.
Okay. We'll talk soon.